we've seen some of the most outlandish statements, even by the Cavaliers coach, trying to make sense of why the Knicks kept blowing them out. Our guy Josh Hart had the perfect response to that bullshit statement.
You know, I just try to go out there and just play my game. I'm never a huge analytics guy. You know, at a certain point, they're a lamppost to a drunk person. You can lean on them, but it won't get you home. So at a certain point, you got to have a good feel for the game.
We're slowly seeing this Knicks playoff run have implications on some of the philosophies we've seen in the NBA in the past couple of years. The kind of shot selections from teams, the positionless basketball. Can every star actually lead a team within that style? Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, Paolo Banchero. The APB is out on a number of players when it comes to this going deeper into the playoffs. And interesting enough, Max Kellerman and Rich Paul had a discussion about not only Josh Hart's statements about the analytics, but also who would they rather take, Luka or Jalen Brunson? Those guys have two different play styles, and when it comes to building a championship team around both, things get quite interesting.
Josh Hart.
Why would Kenny Atkinson say
Josh Hart
Why would
had
he
the
say
best,
that?
But Josh Hart had the best explanation of analytics that I've ever heard since I ever heard the word analytics. Did you hear what he said?
Yes.
He basically said analytics is like lampposts for a drunk person. They'll help you, but they won't get you home.
Right.
They'll hold you
up, but they won't get you home. And he's right.
They
I've
can
never
light the way.
Because here's the thing about analytics. We talked about it. The reason why I don't like analytics, when Tyrese Maxey was coming out, I hate to tell you this, I begged the Pelicans, guys, Pelicans was one of the first teams I allowed in the gym to see Tyrese Maxey. I'm telling them, look, they had the 13th pick. Oh, man, but he don't really shoot the three that well. I said, what tape are you watching? Because what type of threes is he shooting? Is it a grenade at the bottom of his feet?
Right.
Like, is Cal screaming and yelling? Did he just take him out the game and don't put him in the game for 4 minutes, then put him back in? Like, what type of threes you talking about? I just saw this guy make 25 threes in a row. You see the same thing I saw.
Every fan knows the type
analytics.
of three that a guy's, like a shot where the guy's supposed to hit that shot. He got the ball on his steps in rhythm. And the type of shot where you're like, I didn't think that.
Right.
Analytics does not tell what type of heart you have in key moments of the game to make a wide open shot. You think analytics said,
it's a tool. I agree. This is why James Harden was the darling of the analytics community. Luka Doncic is now. I don't think that style of play that Harden played and that Luka plays is conducive to winning championships.
By the way, you played against some of the best guards the league has ever seen. Ever seen. Where does Jalen Brunson and Shea rank against?
Hold on. We'll get to that right now. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
I mean, the thing is, it's different because the guys that we are talking about, we're talking about the MJs, the Kobes, you know what I mean? The AIs.
AI, yes. First of all, people, they always go to the top with these names.
No, forget about guards. Short guards.
Let's take
small
guards.
Let's say under 6'2".
6'2".
6'2" is already decent.
Tony Parker.
That's a good one.
Great.
Right?
That's a good one.
We played him. Chris Paul.
That's another great one.
Another good one.
You know what I mean? Like,
Allen
I'm sitting
Iverson.
Here, okay, that's what I said. AI.
Isaiah Thomas.
Terrell Brandon.
I want to start with the Knicks. I want to go back to the Knicks. We'll get to the guards in a second.
Okay, fine.
Should the Knicks be favorites no matter who comes out of the West? Because I'll give you my answer to that question.
The way they're playing, yes.
Yes.
Amen. The real question is why the media automatically assumes no matter who wins in the West, they're the favorites. Once again, the results of the finals, the Knicks being able to win 4-1, it really showed how disconnected the reporting is versus what's actually happening on the court. And the Jaylen Brown rumors of him just being on that trade block is another prime example.
Where they're
Knicks
playing, yes.
should be favored to win the championship
That's
right
fair.
now. And let me tell you why.
That's fair.
Here's the graphic. Highest point differential in the history of the playoffs through the first 13 games. I'm going to start reverse order, okay? The 6th highest differential, Oklahoma City in 2025. That's last year. They won the championship, plus 183. The 5th was the 1971 Bucks. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with Oscar Robertson. They won the championship, plus 192. The 4th, the Kevin Durant Warriors team in 17. They won the finals, obviously, plus 225. Sorry. Anyway, I skipped 2 teams. The Bulls plus 184, Michael Jordan won the finals, and the Lakers 87, that's Kareem, Magic, and Worthy, plus 193. Anyway, by far, the biggest point differential is plus 234 for the Knicks this year. Every other team in the top 6 won the championship that year. And even if you might be thinking, well, that game against Atlanta, they won by 1 million points. They'd still, even if you took that game out, they'd still be top 6.
It's the Knicks.
Sheesh. Preach, Max, preach. Once again, them being ranked underdogs, it shows you the fucking disconnect. I can understand Vegas doing it because that was a trap bet. But the fact that this was repeated over and over, with OKC even having all those injuries and Wemby not necessarily being the polished closer that for the most part has been displayed throughout the regular season, it's very telling.
It's the Knicks versus anybody. That's their mindset. We don't care who comes out. I said yes.
Yes, and you're a yes.
Yes.
They should be because of how they're playing.
Because of how they're playing.
Again, if Woodward said if they go 7 games here and 7 games with the Hawks and it's a bloodbath between him and Philadelphia, between them and Philly, and then now you get to this series with Cleveland and they're just going back and forth, like maybe not. But the fact that it's not winning, it's how they're winning.
It's how you're winning.
It's how you win. It's not losing, it's how you lose.
They're playing the best team basketball right now. Karl-Anthony Towns is passing out of the post like he's baby Jokic, right? Like he's like
I tell you what people don't understand about the whole Karl-Anthony Towns thing. People forget that Mike Brown was in Golden State for the longest time. They got a dude in Golden State named Draymond Green that they use as a hub, right? They have a guy in Golden State named Steph Curry that they did a great job of putting him off the ball and allowing him to move.
It's a great point.
And when you get to Sacramento, he's the head coach of Sacramento with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. So now it's like, okay, this is my offensive scheme. What he's done is he's moved that offensive scheme from Golden State, obviously different personnel, to Sacramento, and now he's implemented it late, and we have watched that Knicks offense evolve.
Facts. And also, let me say this about him moving that offense to Sacramento. The Kings that season were ranked the #1 offense, and we've never seen that from them since. It goes to show you Mike Brown's scheme could work with different kinds of players, especially Sabonis being a passing big. Then he went to Karl-Anthony Towns, who we really haven't seen him in that role. And now that we could play Monday morning quarterback, it worked well with him. And additionally, mixing in OG Anunoby within that whole frame, those back cut screens that Jalen Brunson was setting and OG would get those dunks, it came off of all that.
Is it time to get Mike Brown as a coach? I got to say something about that too, because think of I know Kerr won a bunch of championships, but Mark Jackson comes in there and he gets them to believe it's okay to shoot from that distance. Yes. It's okay. And he creates the foundation for what becomes a dynasty, but he didn't appear to be the coach to get him to the next level because when they brought Kerr in, the offense was much more efficient.
Right.
Okay.
That happens.
Isn't Mike Brown kind of Steve Kerr for this team right now, in the sense that Thibodeau came in and got them to be a respected powerhouse in the East. But as is typical with his teams, and I don't want to hear, well, Brunson is playing the same minutes. There's a certain amount of intensity that Tibbs puts in the regular season.
Well, also, he's taking the ball out of his hands.
And in the regular season, the Knicks really good. They would hit a wall in the second round of the playoffs, right? Mike Brown comes in, and instead of trending the wrong way this time of year, they're the hottest team in basketball.
The best thing
doesn't he deserve some credit for that?
He does. Sure. No, he does. He deserves a lot of credit. But Mike Brown is one of the most detailed people you are going to find, especially on the defensive end. He don't care. You can take a shot. You can miss a shot, but what you cannot do is miss an assignment on the defensive end. Because when you see Mike Brown prepare, I was there at his dinner when he first got the job in Cleveland. Been around him a long time.
He suffers because he worked on that. Because anyone with LeBron back then, it's like, oh, that's because of LeBron.
No.
I'm just saying, Mike Brown's reputation, based on what I'm seeing right now, is not.
No, Mike Brown's.
He's a good coach, but he is not getting enough credit for what's happening with the Knicks right now.
Sacramento hadn't been to the playoffs since.
Mike Brown's reputation is not an elite coach. It's a good coach. But maybe that needs to change.
But what also people don't understand about Mike Brown is he was here.
Right.
He was my PT
He started here.
He was my player development coach here in San Antonio.
Is he underrated right now?
He's very underrated.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, this is a results-based league.
Yes.
Everything is based on the moment, right? Everything is based because I tell you what, if you go back to 2 months ago, you wouldn't call him underrated at that time.
They were struggling.
Right. You'll call him underrated now because of all the stats that.
Yes,
right.
but
unlike a Thibodeau team who they'd be playing all these minutes and then they'd be burnt by.
No, that's a false narrative, Max. Come on. For the most part, Brunson and most of the starters were only averaging around the high 30s, like 33 minutes a game. You know, I'll tell you what, that Derrick Rose injury, it really kind of put a stain on Tibbs. God damn, people are still hanging on to that narrative, even though most of his players actually like playing for him.
Burnt by the playoffs.
He made a major adjustment. Play faster.
Right.
Get Brunson, get the ball out of Brunson's hands.
Right.
Playing through Cat.
Right.
People don't see it, but he gets Cat going very early. Another genius thing he did. Oh, you want to foul Mitchell Robinson? Great. Foul him now.
Yep.
We're going to put you in the bonus early.
Yep.
That's so smart.
And then we're going to grind.
That's so. In other words, Atkinson's thinking we're going to put Mitch on the line. And so
go ahead.
Mike Brown
he did this in game 3.
Right, here's the bait.
Go right ahead.
And they got the little net there and he took the food.
But here's why the Knicks mentally should be so
Star Wars reference.
Should be so confident. Twice in the playoffs, they came back from 27 down against the Hawks, right? To win that game. Remember? Wasn't that in Atlanta when they came back and they beat the Hawks? The Hawks was up. Was the Hawks up
26?
I think they was up 27.
Yeah.
And then to come back from 22.
But to come down not only 22.
We've seen that happen with teams where they feel like no lead matters. Your lead doesn't matter.
This is what is the most gangster thing about that game. They're down 22 with 7.5 minutes left. They wound up winning in overtime by 11.
Yes.
That's a 33-point swing.
Once you got in overtime.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
overtime,
that's like a
12
minutes of game time. A 33-point swing?
But you're so deflated. You gotta have such a resilient mindset to burst through that.
All these dynasties have a captain who's an extension of the coach on the floor. Bill Russell or Derek Jeter or Tom Brady or whoever it is, right? Jalen Brunson is the floor general for the Knicks. The number one reason they feel, I think, like no deficit is insurmountable for them is because they believe in their guy. I want to talk about Jalen Brunson for a second. If the Knicks win, and we believe they should be favored, and they win the whole thing, is he the GOAT Knick? Is he the GOAT Knick? I mean, Walt Frazier. Okay, let me rephrase. Well, no. First, is he the GOAT Knick? Because
no, Max, he can't be the GOAT Knick yet. He hasn't been part of the team long enough, but he definitely will be up there. It's still a little bit too early to say.
Then we could talk about modern NBA, like 79, 80 on. Walt Frazier has 2 chips. Is it still Walt because he's got 2? Or because Brunson will pass Patrick Ewing if he gets
rings don't matter in this culture, so.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Rich Paul is talking about. That must be some LeBron James shit. I don't know what he's talking about.
Don't matter. Rings don't matter. So I would say yes.
Rings don't matter in what culture?
People don't count the rings.
What?
You don't?
What, Knicks fans? Because there aren't that many
No,
of them?
I'm just saying. Like, Bill Russell.
No, LeBron James fans, because there's not that many either. Remember what he said in Miami? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. He kept going. And if it wasn't for the bubble, they would only have 3.
Has 11 rings.
Right.
No one considers him the GOAT.
They did for a while.
They don't do it right now. No one has 11 rings.
Yeah, but the league was much, much, much smaller.
Right. So what I'm saying is the league was much, much different
That's
when
true.
Clyde played.
So in the modern era, at least, right? Maybe Brunson gets extra credit and is immediately the GOAT Knick if they win the championship. Is he?
I would never disrespect Clyde Frazier.
I know that's.
I would never
You know
do
what
that.
we need to do?
That's
We need to
hard,
ask
man.
Clyde.
We
should
can ask Clyde. Yeah, we
yeah.
can. Here's what I'm saying.
We'll leave it up to Clyde.
That's what I was going to say. Let's put that
leave it
on
up to
film.
Clyde.
I'm going to act like
By
Clyde.
the way, Clyde.
Now, when it comes to the Knicks, due to recent history of just them being considered a losing franchise, there's always been a mix-up because even though in recent years that has been the case, when it comes to the championship level, the standard is very high for the Knicks organization. Walt Clyde did beat the very best of the best in the league. That includes Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, Baylor, and Gail Goodrich. So those are all-time players that the Knicks end up beating.
Went for, I want to say, 35, 15, and 7 in Game 7 against Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain to give the Knicks the championship. So
I'm going to put Clyde to the side.
okay, let's put Clyde to
Yes.
the side. He passes Patrick, right? If they win,
Absolutely.
because Patrick didn't get one.
Absolutely.
Okay, how
he
about
is at
this
the
one?
top of the list.
First of all, that's not for Rich Paul to decide. He cannot speak on that as a Midwest guy. No, thank you. Patrick Ewing is one of the best centers to ever play in the NBA, and he has lost to two players that are definitely in the top 10. That is Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan. I know sometimes the whole NBA zeitgeist gets caught up in the counting of rings, but when it comes to the quote-unquote ring culture, not all of them are the same. You could look at LeBron James' championship in Cleveland, Kobe Bryant's championship against the Boston Celtics, Dirk Nowitzki's championship against the Miami Heat. Some rings hold weight more than others. And the same thing does apply on the other end when you look at the competition levels of certain players. And Patrick Ewing, no doubt, has gone up against two GOATs, two guaranteed top 10 guys.
Would you rather have Brunson right now or Shea?
Ooh.
Brunson or Shea? Now, Shea is bigger.
Okay,
He's a better
I know my
defender.
answer.
But he's a better defender.
I know my answer.
They're both extremely clutch.
True, Shea is a better defender, but Brunson also has that pull-up three coming off the pick. Shea cannot do that, so that tends to open up Brunson's game. Interesting conversation right here because it is a lot closer than what people think, especially when it comes to winning.
I know my answer.
This is not like a. It's not a would you rather have. This is.
He's making it a would you rather have.
saying,
Yeah.
who would you
It's not a would you rather have, but he is making it a would you rather have.
How about this?
Okay,
Take who you want.
Brunson.
Okay, I'll take the other.
In today's NBA, so what you're telling me is I don't know anything else. I don't know who else is on my roster.
Okay.
Okay? I have to take the taller, more versatile of the two.
Okay, so that's Shea, who's
Yes.
also, by the way, Shea's a good defender.
Right.
That's like one of the most underrated parts of his game. He's
No
an excellent
question about it.
How about for this Knicks team?
Well,
Could you swap Brunson out? Who in the NBA could you swap Brunson out for and think the Knicks are still as good as they are right now?
Shea.
One, who's an MVP.
Are you saying
reigning
guards?
MVP. No,
You
yeah.
said just guards?
Well, would you take? Okay, how about this? Brunson or Luka?
Now, before Rich Paul answers this, one thing they overlooked about Brunson, he does have an off-ball game. That's what really allowed the offense to reach up to another level when things ran through Cat. Brunson was still able to cook. I don't know if SGA or Luka could even do that. Those are more on-ball players.
You're trying to win a championship, Brunson or Luka?
okay, I can tell you who mine is.
Go ahead.
And I'll tell you the reason why.
Go ahead.
I would say Brunson. And the reason I would say that is because I've seen Brunson play with and without the ball.
I agree.
I haven't seen Luka as talented as Luka is. And Luka is crazy talented. He can score from anywhere on the floor, excellent passer, but I haven't seen him play where his usage is low.
Hey, Antonio Daniels is getting right where I was getting at. Imagine if Luka was on the Knicks in that Hawks game 4, where things started to get ran through Cat. Could Luka function in that environment the same way Jalen Brunson did? A lot of stars cannot do that. Again, that's what's beautiful about the NBA game. There's a lot of art and nuance mixed in there, It's not just about the numbers and counting the championship rings.
You know what I mean? The good thing about Jalen Brunson that we're seeing now is he's off the ball a lot, right? You're using Karl, and the thing is, I don't blame Luka for that though. Like, I wonder what it would look like if Luka was playing with LeBron when LeBron was younger.
Or Kyrie Irving
Well,
right now.
I can tell you how it would look.
Or Jalen Brunson right now. Come
I was gonna
on.
say,
Right.
Brunson,
So this is
Brunson played with both. We've seen Luka play with another guard. I would say Brunson. If you're picking Brunson, it's because of the optionality that he gives.
For sure, 100%.
If you're picking Brunson.
so
Yes.
okay. So here are some more. How many players? Well, first of all, how does Dallas let a guy like Brunson out the door?
Well, that's
that's a
not
whole
fair.
other conversation.
That's not
How
fair.
do they let him out the door?
That's not fair.
Why not?
Yo, this guy Max is a shit starter right here. You gotta love it, man. Like he's getting into it. He's forcing some tough conversations out there.
Because hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
You can't tell me. And I watched Jalen Brunson a million times in Dallas. That's like saying with James Harden, did you see the MVP James Harden when he was in Oklahoma City?
No.
No.
But I thought he was a
You
good
saw
player.
a damn
No
good player.
question.
I'll tell you, wait.
You did.
But you know what's interesting? And I'll link it in the description below because my first film segment on Jalen Brunson showed that Utah Jazz and Dallas Mavericks series where the first 3 games happened without Luka even being in the starting lineup, and Brunson had him up 2-1 versus Donovan Mitchell. Mark Cuban had a slight glance of what Jalen Brunson could be, but he still overlooked it. Or you know what? At the time, it might have been too late because he already kind of been through contract extension talks with Brunson, and those talks already broke down. Remember when Leon Rose and Julius Randle, Worldwide West showed up to one of the games? That kind of rubbed certain people the wrong way.
But there's a difference between a really good player and an MVP.
But
I
here's
tell
what
you-
I'll say. Here's
Yeah.
what I'll say to that. Because now I got to put my agent hat on. Or I put my GM hat on. The only thing I would say against what you guys are saying now is it don't matter. It's the asset. The man was asking for 4 years.
Oh, no, I get that.
You-
I get that.
you-
No,
you-
you're
you-
100%
That's what I'm
right.
saying. You signed the 4 years, 80.
For sure.
Because the other thing, you can't lose them for nothing. So it don't even matter.
But I also think there's guys like, I'll give you an
That's
example.
different. I thought we
But
were
no.
just talking about. I thought we were just
No, but
talking
let me
about
get-
the physical.
No,
not
he's saying how
Oh,
did he
okay.
get
But,
away
yeah,
from
how
that?
they let him out the door.
Oh,
But
that's different.
Here's
That's
another
different.
example. It's
Yes.
actually a pretty close
That's
comparison.
And James Harden is an example of why you don't. The same thing happened with James
Well, they traded Harden.
No, not at first. It became a trade.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Remember, Harden wanted $4 million more than
And
what was
OKC
offered.
didn't want to pay tax, I think, right?
And then that's when they came.
But I want to give an example for Brunson that I think is a close parallel, actually. When Steve Nash was with Dirk Nowitzki in Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
I remember saying on Around the Horn, when he was on Dallas still, I came out and said, I watched him one game and I said, I know there are better players than Steve Nash in the NBA. But when I watch him, it's hard for me to think of who they are, right? And this is when he's still in Dallas. They hadn't unlocked him to this
He hasn't won the MVP
But you
yet.
could
Mhm.
see certain guys. Now, Brunson, undersized, I understand why you don't want to pay him because in the NBA nowadays, especially an undersized guard is a defensive liability. He can be exploited, the whole thing. But he's the kind of guy, like now watching him on the Knicks more closely, if you have a guy like that on your team, doesn't matter the numbers he's putting up. A guy like that, and he's putting up numbers, you don't let him out the door.
Agreed. But what helps him with the Knicks is the fact that you have Josh Hart, that you have OG Anunoby, that you
Yes.
have Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
You know, those guys that you have that they call Wingstop.
Yeah.
You have versatile guys that are excellent defenders. The fact that you have a Mitchell Robinson. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's these conversations are difficult to have because you don't know what the rest of the roster looks like.
That's
Facts. And that's the beautiful thing about today's NBA. There's a lot of versatility. There's more factors, I should say, outside of the star that has contributed to, I would say, the last 7 championship teams. They all kind of have the same makeup where there's a lot of versatile players who could defend multiple positions and do a lot of different things. Long gone are the days of just having teams with a big man and back to the basket and working your offense from the inside out.
that's fair. But you did know that you were just in the conference finals.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you need.
And they
sure.
did get to the finals without him, as people, but
yeah, but
the Dallas Mavericks after
an
they let him
asset
go.
like that,
Yeah.
Agreed.
you have to. Just have to
So
sign
here's
it.
the next one I have for you guys, okay? And then I got two more on Brunson. How many players in the NBA? You have a team. You don't like would you take over Brunson? How many players
Right now?
in the NBA would you take
Not
over
many.
Brunson?
Not right
Because
now.
by the way, you know how I always say,
Ooh, that's
why do we
I
give
mean,
up,
if you
why
said-
do we give out awards after the regular season,
I-
right?
I-
Because
I've said this forever.
Right,
Max,
right.
I have said this
because
forever.
in a league where
The most
two-thirds
important
of the teams are still playing after the season's over. If you're one of the best players in the league, you're not going to be out of the play-in at least, right? The highest leverage games, and there are many of them, are in the playoffs.
Don't matter.
If you ask
Yep.
me, but in the regular season, who's better? Cade Cunningham, who I love. Cade Cunningham is an old school. He's gonna, if he stays healthy, he's in the Hall of Fame one day. I love Cade Cunningham. Regular season, Cade or Brunson? Ooh, that's close. I'll probably take Cade. Playoffs, which is the real season, Brunson. I'll take Brunson over Cade.
And this is
which
tough.
just means I'll take Brunson over Cade.
And I get it, but this is a tough conversation again because roster construction matters.
It does.
Okay,
Roster
you don't
construction
have
matters.
But
anything else.
They don't have roster.
You don't have
construction
anything else.
in the barbershop.
Yeah,
No question.
They-
But like when we talk about Cade or Brunson, it's not as simple as saying Cade or Brunson because
I
you know what
agree.
Brunson has? Brunson has a lot of what Cade doesn't.
Okay, we're going to
A
do an
whole lot of what
expansion
Cade
draft.
doesn't.
We have an expansion draft.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how they do the expansion draft? You got to leave players unprotected. Both these guys, for whatever reason, are left unprotected. You're an expansion team, Cade or Brunson.
I'm taking Cade.
I'm
Because
taking
he's younger?
Cade too.
Because he's younger and he's
taller.
bigger.
Yeah, I'm taking
He's
Cade
younger
too.
and he's bigger.
Let me say this, because those selections aren't bad for the scenario. But Cade Cunningham, just like Paolo Banchero and Anthony Edwards, he's yet to be proven if he can actually play that positionless basketball because he's really not a point guard. And in today's NBA, because that is the trend of just having those kind of combo players being utilized as the playmaker, the APB is still out on a lot of guys if they can actually do this at the highest levels. I'm talking about take full control of these games the way Brunson did against the San Antonio Spurs. That includes controlling the pace and also getting to your spots, controlling that area no matter what the other team's defense gives you. There's going to be a lot of victims of this whole positionless basketball era. So far, one guy I can name is going to be Donovan Mitchell. For Anthony Edwards, Paolo Banchero, and Cade Cunningham, it's still too early in their careers to find out. Jason Tatum almost fell victim. It took him a couple of years to kind of get that winning formula deep into the playoffs. Same thing for SGA. He's just like Jalen Brunson, one of the few players to actually thrive because of their mid-range game in this whole positionless era.
I got to say, guys, based on what I'm seeing from Brunson, in terms of the shooting, the clutch ability, everything about.
But this, we ain't seeing nothing different from Brunson this year than we saw last year.
Let's say what I mean.
It's great.
Because you agreed with the postseason thing. I said for several years in a row, going back 3 or 4 years, when it comes to the playoffs, Jimmy Butler's a top 5 player in the NBA.
100%.
That's the
fair.
same thing as saying,
But
you
you
don't
know
need
what?
to say when it comes to the playoffs. That means that Jimmy Butler's a top 5 player in the NBA.
Hey, like I said, Max is a shit starter because he's bringing up a lot of good points. The fact that Jimmy Butler was able to make the finals in 2020 and also in 2023 in an era where most of these so-called NBA experts are telling you that the mid-range is dead. You saw not only he made the finals, but also Jokic, who uses the mid-range, Giannis, Kawhi Leonard, SGA, and now Jalen Brunson. All mid-range guys winning in the NBA Finals during an era so-called NBA experts are telling you that the mid-range is dead. Make sense of that.
We're talking
Yes, it
about,
does.
But what we're talking about is what gets teams in trouble because the obvious answer is Cade when you ask this question based upon everything you look for in a basketball player. But the obvious isn't always the right answer. It don't make it right,
That's true.
but it's the obvious answer. But it does not make it right.
Who would you take?
No, we both said Cade.
Right.
Because that's
Only
the
reason I
obvious
would take
answer.
Cade is younger. So the younger, taller player, I agree. So when I say expansion draft, let's just say we're trying to do as well in the playoffs as we can this year.
For sure.
You want Brunson or Cade?
But you're saying expansion draft, which means because
I messed up. Forget the expansion draft. It ruins everything.
I would agree with AD. What he's saying is, if you telling me that I get to take Brunson and then I get to build my team how I want it, then give me Brunson.
Then give me
Brunson. Okay.
Yes.
So you get to build the team how you want it. Whatever answer gets me the answer I'm looking for.
Give me Brunson.
All right, Brunson.
In that
Okay.
case.
So who else would you take over Brunson? If that's the idea, how many players in the league you taking over Brunson?
And that's the real question right there. How many players could you actually take over Brunson? It's not that many. Again, the Knicks winning the championship has forced a lot of uncomfortable conversations because the marketing around the league and just what they talk about, whether they're fishing for clicks, it doesn't add up to what we saw on the court. The fact that the Knicks dusted most of the teams in the playoffs, including the San Antonio Spurs. These are interesting times, and it shows you the elevation of Jalen Brunson's game.